Alright, so that's a setup in terms of why doing that episode. Let's go back in history and talk about concept design 20 years ago. So when I started out, my first job was run system. This year, studio was about 300 to 400 people. I think they had 3 divisions divided into, I believe, 3 to 4 floors. Big building out of Austin, Texas, right by 360 Bridge. But 20 years ago, this was home of Lord British who created Ultima, so I was on the same floor as him. Basically, you're doing Ultima online. Now you see from the school by view, you're starting to be like, way you want to choose Ferrari or Lamborghini. My guess is the sport guy is going to buy is going to be probably Ferrari, Lamborghini, maybe a Bugatti, but probably something like Ferrari or Lamborghini. Very high chance that they want those 2 brands. Nowadays, it's been brought out by EA, and I believe the same building is used to make the Star Wars MMO for BioWare. Let's see. I don't know. I just want to work for them. I have no idea. So therefore, when I drive that car, everyone knows I have money. And that's the purpose in terms of why they buy that car. Know a little bit about what you're getting yourself into. Now, hopefully, this episode will break that down. But yeah, you had absolutely no idea what they actually do. But yeah, they're choosing the 2 brands. California, the United States Powerball, right? You guys probably heard there's lost thing going on right now, and the amount is 1.5 billion. Okay. Again, this is a podcast. It's gonna run for quite a while, so let's just keep talking. That's not what they do in the job. That has to do with sometimes marketing art or other books that mix a bunch of stuff together. A lot of money over there. Imagine it's just some guys and you win. You're the only winner. And I'm going to cover that later in the part 2 of what you actually do. But this has to do with, I like to use analogies of cars. Video games and films were quite exposed in terms of pre-production, in terms of what goes on behind the scene. And also, especially in the video game side, you'll be seen a very nerdy business to be in. If you tell your friends, you're working at video game at present, you automatically get assumption that you're a big nerd or geek and things like that. It just wasn't very cool to be in gaming. Now you had close to $1 billion in the bank. After tax, maybe you had $600 million, something crazy like that. And you want to go buy some sport car. Video games that got released, for example, Skyrim and Fallout. All these games that receive a lot of attention on the internet that brought the game industry to mainstream. I think it did. But with that, only the nerds and most hardcore gamers will know about these games. But then you see on television, you start to see video blog on YouTube having millions of followers just talking about video games. Skyrim alone probably had catching 30-40 million followers to our own channel on YouTube. So now you have influx or exposure of video games to the mainstream audience, and no longer is video game perceived as nerdy. I think now it's almost cool to work in game. So back to the part of students, I think the small percentage of students who apply will be like, oh, video games are cool, I want to do it. Which job should I be to get in? There are 3D artists, programmers, sound design, music animation, VFX, and texture, and then there's concept art. You're making concept art. You don't have to study really hard C++ code. You don't have to know Maya animation and curve and things like that. You don't have to learn zippers or hardcore 3D software required to become good 3D artist. It just seems like an easy way in, at least from the outside, in my opinion. However, the truth is far from that. This job is equally as difficult as anything that within production of a product. It's just perceived as, oh, you don't have to do education, you don't have to study anything, it's just raw. That's part of it. And I think that's why so many younger students are trying to become apply as a concept art, even though they know very little about what the job does. So let's talk about that. What exactly is it? And then confusing, sometimes it leads to. I think, now does this person know anything about the car? Probably no. But do we care? No. Why did you buy the car? Because it's expensive, it's very flashy, and so you have money. But in terms of knowing history, the buyer doesn't have to care. They don't even know where Ferrari are made. You know, I don't think they care. So therefore, when I drive that car, everyone knows I have money. And that's the purpose in terms of why they buy that car.